Myst, Might, Mayhem. By Han Jung-Wiolia. Chapter 460. Karma. Part 1. It was invisible to everyone else's eyes. While the bamboo-hatted figure and others were puzzled, only Young Sun's eyes clearly saw someone's figure. That someone was a young girl with half of her hair turned white, her entire body wrapped in chains. Gyu Soha? Gyu Soha. She is a spirit servant belonging to Mok Jiang'an, who has reached blue spirit rank. How did she, who always refers to herself as this young master or as a man, arrive here before them? And why is she in the state of a vengeful spirit instead of possessing someone? This was due to an instruction from Mok Jiang'an. Just a few hours earlier, around sunset, Gyu Soha, possessing the body of Seo Haiyan, the leader of the Four Peaks faction under Zhang Nunake, the second disciple of the society leader, was leading a force of hundreds of experts and escorting Go Chan, who was possessed by Wei So-yun, back to the society. They would have arrived sooner, but their return was delayed due to several encounters with secret society's trackers and having to avoid them. However, they were now only a few hours away from arriving. At that moment, Mok Jiang'an's thoughts were transmitted into her mind. Gyu Soha. Where are you now? Master. Are you at the society? No. We had to take a detour because they were following us, so it took some time. I see. Then it would be difficult. Pardon? They are targeting the assassin king of the sea sealed in the hidden vault of the Corpse Blood Valley. The wooden box. Master. We're not far now. We should arrive at the association in less than half a day. So I can retrieve the wooden box. No, this is urgent. Leave it to Ma Sung, you focus on your current mission. Master? Master. No matter how much she called, Mok Jiang'an didn't respond. Gyu Soha was feeling dejected when, coincidentally, as they approached the society, they found another force waiting for them. It was none other than the force led by Li Jiyom, the master of the Corpse Blood Valley. Oh? Is that Seo Haiyan, leader of the Four Peaks faction? Our Lord sent us. From now on, I will command the escort team. The meticulous Mok Jiang'an had sent Li Jiyom in advance as a precaution. Thanks to their appearance, she thought it was fortunate and left things to Li Jiyom, then separated from the body and returned first in her vengeful spirit state. How? Gyu Young Sun, one of the 5 tigers, the highest-ranked 5 peaks of the Heaven and Earth Society, and the grand leader of the Spear Demon Group. He couldn't hide his bewilderment at the sight of Gyu Soha flickering before his eyes. The memory from that time was still vivid, as if it had happened just yesterday. He was rejoicing in his hidden talent awakening after being chosen by him, when he heard someone's voice calling for him from somewhere. Young Sun. Young Sun. Where are you? Answer if you're alive. It was that girl's voice. Could she have come down to this ravine to look for him? Just as he was starting to feel strange, his voice echoed in his ears. Your chance has come. With that, the subtle emotion that had momentarily gripped Young Sun disappeared, and his heart filled with murderous intent. Seized by such intense killing intent, he secretly approached Gyu Soha from behind and struck the back of her head with a sharp rock. Puk. Ack. Gyu Soha turned her head, gasping for breath. She was looking at him with eyes filled with both shock and disappointment. Why you? How? Don't look at me with those eyes. This is all your fault. Puk. Ack. Young Sun brought the rock down on her face as she glared at him. Seeing her suffer with her eyes sunken in, Young Sun's mouth stretched into a wide grin. Feeling her pain brought him such joy that he felt ecstatic. Stop. You damn brat. What do you mean stop? Everything will be solved if you just die. You. Every time you acted superior, pretending to sympathize while having everything. I didn't. You were just born before me, that's all. With those words, Young Sun frantically brought the rock down on her face. At first, she screamed in pain, but by the time her face was almost completely crushed, she could no longer make any sound. Finally, the damn girl was dead. Even after confirming that Gyu Soha had breathed her last, he continued to strike her face, unable to quell his anger. But now, what was happening? Somo. The figure flickering before his eyes now, with half-white hair and body wrapped in chains, was undoubtedly Gyu Soha. Although the whitened hair and chains looked bizarre, what bewildered Young-sun more was seeing the dead girl flickering before his eyes. What on earth is this? This chilling, hair-raising ghostly energy that gave him goosebumps. Could she have become a vengeful ghost after death? As he unconsciously took a step back, his father, the Shadow Spear King Gyu Jong-sin, grabbed his shoulder and asked, "What's wrong? Can't you see it?" "See what? What are you talking about? What?" As he questioned back, even the family retainers beside them were showing reactions as if they couldn't understand what was happening. "Young master? What on earth is wrong with you? Could it be that they can't see that thing in front of them? That Gyu Soha thing is glaring at him as if it's going to kill him, and they can't see it." Then, his father, the Shadow Spear King Gyu Jong-sin, pointed to where the ghostly energy was felt and asked, "Do you mean over there? What exactly do you see?" That. Young-sun couldn't bring himself to answer. How could he say that Gyu Soha, whom he had killed with his own hands, was visible right in front of him? Seemingly deciding this wouldn't do, the Shadow Spear King Gyu Jong-sin approached where the ghostly energy was felt and aimed his personal weapon, the famous spear Han Wei, which he wore on his back. Then, concentrating true chi at the spear tip and imbuing it with sword energy, he thrust it forward. Puk. At the moment he thrust the spear. Surak. Gyu Soha leaped backward, avoiding the attack. She had distanced herself because even a vengeful spirit in ethereal form could be somewhat harmed by the chi of an outstanding internal martial arts master. However, because of this, she dodged. Young-sun, who had been momentarily gripped by fear thinking it was a vengeful ghost, came to his senses. Why would a dead vengeful ghost dodge an attack? Could it be that this isn't what I think it is? Suk. Young-sun reached for the spear on his back. Although he didn't know how it had appeared before him again, it was clear that it had appeared with malice towards him. The fortunate thing was that no one else could see it. Whether it's a vengeful ghost or whatever, I need to deal with it. His father, the Shadow Spear King Gyu Jong-sin, only knew that Gyu Soha had died in an unfortunate accident during the Corpse Blood Valley test. Thanks to that, he had naturally been able to become the young master. He didn't know why such a thing had appeared now, but he couldn't let it become an unnecessary disturbance. He had been momentarily shocked and confused, thinking the dead girl had appeared, but he was no longer his former self. Now, he was one of the 5 tigers, the highest-ranked 5 peaks, and a supreme expert who had reached the pinnacle stage of the transcendent realm, gazing beyond the wall. Moreover, if he used the technique that he had passed down, he could exert even greater power. Because of this, none of the 5 tigers could match him. Judging by that youthful appearance, she doesn't seem any different from before, but are you trying to take revenge on me now? If physical attacks work, I'll kill you again. Just as Young-sun was about to launch himself towards Gyu Soha extended her palm towards him and muttered incomprehensible words. Ghost Intent Domain. Chain Immortal Prison. Pat. What's this? At that moment. Chwerurururu. Papapapat. Suddenly, chains began to burst out and surge up from the perfectly normal floor. Young-sun, who had been about to attack Gyu Soha, was startled by the chains surging up from the floor and used a movement technique to avoid them. Chwerurururu. Nevertheless, the surging chains, as if alive, rushed towards him. In response, Young-sun unleashed a powerful spear technique to block the chains. Che-che-che-che-che-chang. Has this damn girl learned some kind of sorcery? He couldn't understand what was happening. As he continued to block the chains, Young-sun, feeling a sense of crisis from the continuously advancing chains, hurriedly shouted, "Father! Please help. At that moment, Young-sun's pupils shook. The figures of his father and the 3 retainers were nowhere to be seen. As he wondered where they had disappeared to, he saw chains, incomparably more numerous than before, rushing towards him like hundreds of snakes swarming in. Damn it. There were so many that he was at a loss for how to block them all. However, Young-sun's worry didn't last long. This was because, while watching the oncoming chains, he became certain of one thing. There was no way such a large quantity of chains could exist in the hidden vault of the Corpse Blood Valley. Which meant this must surely be an illusion. You're trying to deceive my eyes, but do you think I'll fall for it so easily? Pack on. Young-sun fixed the shaft of his spear to the ground and closed his eyes. Then he concentrated on his sense of chi. This is fake. Fake. It's merely deceiving his sight and other 5 senses. If it's just an illusion, it absolutely cannot harm him. Yes, absolutely. Chururururu. He felt numerous chains wrapping around his body. At this, Young-sun circulated his true chi throughout his body while repeating to himself, "It's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. If I concentrate." But then... Quack. As hundreds of chains, not just one, wrapped around his body and tightened, he couldn't help but scream in pain. Poo up. What on earth is this? He had closed his eyes and tried to convince himself that nothing was there. But the sensation of chains constricting his body felt too real. Because of this, Young-sun finally unleashed his anti-shock energy throughout his body, trying somehow to shake off the chains wrapping around him. However... Quack. Kayak. The chains tightened even more strongly, making him feel like his body was about to burst. He had definitely raised his power to the 10-star level, so how could mere illusory chains have an even stronger constricting force? Then, a voice reached his ears. Does this look like an illusion to you? Huh? Surprised, Young-sun tilted his head back and shouted, "Why you? What exactly are you? Why do you have that girl's appearance?" That girl? Judging by your tone, I can tell how you thought of me. You. Young-sun's expression distorted. This familiar intonation and way of speaking. Even though more than 15 years had passed, it was impossible for it to be erased from his mind. It can't be. You're dead. Yet here I am in front of you. With those words, Gyu-soha made a gesture of slightly clenching her hand. At that, the chains wrapping around Young-sun tightened even more. Quack. Kek kek. The pressure was so strong that Young-sun's face trembled, and blood spurted from his mouth. Despite his suffering appearance, Gyu-soha showed no sign of satisfaction. This was because she hadn't yet bestowed upon him the proper pain. To be in such pain from just this much. How pathetic. Kek kek. You bitch. You're fake. Gyu-soha is dead. Even in his pain, he tried his best not to make any verbal mistakes, thinking his father and the retainers might be watching. But then... Yes, I died. So I'm here to let you taste the pain I experienced after death. What? You coveted what I had, right? Then you should share the pain too. Tack. As Gyu-soha snapped her fingers, everything around them darkened. Then suddenly, the surroundings changed. It had clearly been the hidden vault, but now it had transformed into the bottom of a cliff ravine. The moment he saw this place, Young-sun's pupils shook violently. This is... that place. The bottom of the cliff ravine in the Corpse Blood Valley. The place he called Solitude. And also the place where he had killed Gyu-soha. What on earth is going on? You. What the hell did you do? How did you bring me to this place? Young-sun's shout echoed all around. What? Where did you go? Gyu-soha, who had been right beside him until just a moment ago, was nowhere to be seen. Where on earth did she disappear to? As he wondered about this. Sumal. At that moment, something unbelievable happened. Bizarre things with terrifying forms began to appear before his eyes from all directions. These things, with not a single normal aspect to them, were literally vengeful spirits, vengeful ghosts. Even though he had reached the transcendent realm, he couldn't help but feel a chill run down his spine at the sight of these terrible things swarming towards him. Startled by the appearance of these approaching beings, he tried to undo the chains, but, quack. Coo. The chains constricting his body didn't budge an inch. In the midst of this, unfortunately, as he struggled to move, he ended up falling backwards. Kung. Having fallen, he frantically tried to somehow undo the chains. But by then, the vengeful spirits had reached where he was. Hook. The vengeful spirits that had reached him began to frantically cling to him and burrow into his exposed parts. Kwaduk. Kwajijik. Yujiak Yujiak. Kaya. Let go. Let go. Don't bite. Yuak. Youngsun frantically turned his face and twisted his body, trying to shake them off. But the more he did so, let us eat you. Let us eat you. Die. Die. Why should we be here? Save us. Give us your body. Just die already. They clung to him even more frantically. As they bit his face and burrowed into his flesh, more than the physical pain, extreme emotions of terror and despair flooded his mind, tormenting him. Kaya. The torment was so severe that he felt he might go mad. Could he really die like this? As he thought this, suddenly he saw Gyu Soha watching him with a chilling smile on her face. She was genuinely happy at his suffering. You really are trying to take revenge on me? How dare you do this to me? Reaching the extreme of agony and rage, he finally couldn't hold back anymore and unleashed the secret technique he had been hiding. It was a technique called the exploding acupoint skill that he had taught him, which momentarily increased all his power exponentially at the cost of depleting his vital energy. Pakachakachacha. His power instantly surged to more than double, causing the massive chains that hadn't budged an inch to shatter into pieces. Along with this, the vengeful spirits that had been biting and clinging to him were also flung away. Pat. Youngsun then launched himself and grabbed Gyu Soha. He roughly grasped her neck with both hands and threw her to the ground. Kek. You wench. How dare you try to take revenge on me? Kek kek. Stop. Stop. Stop? Stop? Kuahahaha. Youngsun burst into maniacal laughter as he watched Gyu Soha suffering. He had thought she was a vengeful spirit, but it seems that wasn't the case. After all, a dead person wouldn't suffer from being choked. Youngsun tightened his grip on Gyu Soha's neck even more, sneering with a face twisted by madness. I don't know how you survived with your face crushed, but Soha, you're really stupid. Kek kek. You. Gyu Soha's face gradually turned pale as she struggled for breath. Watching her dying appearance, Youngsun scoffed and said, Why, are you frustrated? You tried so hard to get revenge, but you couldn't even do that properly, and now you're about to die by my hands again. No sooner had those words left his mouth. Gyu Soha, who had been suffering with a dying face, suddenly smiled. She's smiling? At that moment, he felt something cold and sharp against his neck. It was a spear blade. This is... And it wasn't just any spear blade, but Hanwei, one, the famous spear that was his father's shadow spear King Gyu Jongsin's personal weapon. Startled, he tried to lift his head, but his father's voice, filled with killing intent, shook his heart. Just now. Repeat what you said. Chapter 461. Karma. Part 2. Shadow Spear King Gyu Jongsin and his 3 retainers, who had served him for a long time, frowned at the strange scene unfolding before their eyes. This was because Gyu Youngsun, the family's heir, was behaving strangely all by himself. He seemed to be attacking someone invisible, then suddenly writhed in pain as if his body was being constricted by something. He even coughed up blood. as they tried to help him. Kek kek. You damn girl. You're fake. You. Soha is dead. They stopped at Young-sun's unexpected words. What on earth was he saying? Why was this child suddenly mentioning the dead Soha? Family head. The young master is still. Wait. Leave him be for a moment. At the family head's order, they left Young-sun alone for a while. But what followed was even more outrageous. Though they couldn't see anyone, Young-sun seemed to be conversing with someone. Later, he unleashed a bizarre evil technique, then lunged at something invisible, making a strangling gesture, before uttering shocking words, "You wench. How dare you try to take revenge on me? Revenge? Stop? Stop? Kuahahaha." A laugh filled with madness. The family head was left speechless at this sight of Young-sun he had never seen before. Young-sun's face was the very embodiment of evil. He had always shown a gentle demeanor, even maintaining his dignity after becoming the heir. How had he hidden such a side? As he wondered about this, "I don't know how you survived with your face crushed, but Soha, you're really stupid." At these words, the retainers were at a loss, shocked. They had just heard something terrible that they shouldn't have known. What on earth was going on? The confused retainers looked at the family head, but, Osik. The family head's gaze towards Young-sun was no longer that of a father looking at his child. Unaware of this, Young-sun continued to speak provocatively, completely disregarding his surroundings. "Why, are you frustrated? You tried so hard to get revenge, but you couldn't even do that properly, and now you're about to die by my hands again." Yu Jongsin could no longer just watch Young-sun. Yu Jongsin aimed his personal weapon, the famous spear Hanwei, at Young-sun's neck and asked, "Just now. Repeat what you said." At these words, Young-sun's expression, which had been revealing his madness without regard for anyone until just a moment ago, froze. Young-sun slowly raised his head, scanned his surroundings, and couldn't hide his bewilderment. Father. Something. Did you kill Soha? He should have denied it immediately, but meeting the eyes of his adoptive father Yu Jongsin, whose face was calm but eyes burned with anger, Young-sun was momentarily at a loss for words. Young-sun was at a complete loss for how to navigate this situation. He was supposed to secure that under his orders and then escape from the Heaven and Earth Society, but he didn't know how to explain this. Time was running out, and even if he tried to persuade them, would it work? After all, he had said those things. After considering numerous options in a split second, Young-sun finally spoke. "Father. This is a trap." "A trap? I don't know what kind of trick this is, but I seem to have fallen under some sort of evil spell. That's why I might have said things that could be misunderstood, but it's absolutely not true. You know, don't you? How much I cared for my elder sister. Didn't you say you didn't know how your elder sister died?" "What?" "It was a matter of that child's honor, and I didn't tell you because I was worried you'd be shocked." "So how do you know about it?" Yu Jongsin was one of the 5 kings of the Heaven and Earth Society. Because of this, he had turned the Corpse Blood Valley and the Primal Killing Pavilion upside down to find out how his daughter Gyu Soha had died. However, because she had been killed so horribly, he had kept silent about it to Young-sun. Damn it. Young-sun realized in an instant. No matter what he said, there was no way to explain this. There was only one option left. "I need to escape." Fortunately, he was still in the state of using the exploding acupoint skill that he had taught him, so at this moment, even the Shadow Spear King Yu Jongsin wouldn't be able to easily. Puk. At that moment, Shadow Spear King Yu Jongsin's famous spear Hanwei pierced through his neck. Young-sun's eyes widened, his mouth gaped open, and then his head drooped. Even though his power had more than doubled due to the exploding acupoint skill, he was merely an expert who had reached the peak of the transcendent realm, while Shadow Spear King Yu Jongsin was one of the 8 stars called the highest experts in the martial world and had reached the realm of transformation. There was no way to escape from such a person when his neck was already targeted. As Gyu Jongsin glared at Young-sun who had just breathed his last, a single tear fell from one of his eyes. Ah, Soha. Gyu Jongsin's heart ached terribly. He was overwhelmed with sadness, remembering his only daughter who had died in agony, her face crushed by none other than her adopted brother. As he shed tears, Surak. A strange thing happened before his eyes. Right in front of him, the dead Gyu Soha was looking at him with a loving expression. You, Father. His dead daughter called out to him. If not for his wife's last wish, he would have wanted to raise her as his daughter. He wanted to raise her more beautifully than anyone else. But he couldn't. He even sent her to the corpse blood valley, which he didn't want to, leading to her death. Guilt and longing simultaneously enveloped his heart. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. To you. As a father, I only did terrible things. Gyu Soha shook her head at him, who was choked with anguish. Then she smiled brightly. It was as if she was saying she was fine. For a moment, Gyu Jongsin's lips trembled, his eyes reddened, and with a flushed face, he reached out towards his daughter. But at that moment, Gyu Soha's body brightened, and then scattered like hundreds of fireflies flying away. Soha! Soha! Gyu Jongsin waved his hands towards the scattering lights and then broke down in tears. He had hoped she would resent him, but how could she leave with such a bright smile? Ah, Soha! Soha! My one and only child. Family head. The three retainers looked with pity at the family head who was overcome with sorrow and weeping. But then... Pack! Suddenly, the head of Young-sun, who had just died, exploded. The retainers couldn't hide their bewilderment at this sight. Although his neck had been pierced, it didn't seem like the family head had specifically sent true chi to his head. What on earth was happening? In a dark hall, Mok Gon, the leader of secret society, hidden in the shadows, shook his head as if disappointed. The Heaven and Earth Society was the first place he had intended to unleash to inflict pain on him. The six demons, the pinnacle of Immimanjiang and infinitely close to divine beasts, are each a disaster and calamity in themselves. But it seemed things hadn't gone as planned. Lord Mok Gon? The man with long hair and red lips cautiously called out, sensing his discomfort. Just moments ago, he had been anticipating that a catastrophe would soon unfold at the Heaven and Earth Society. Something seemed to have gone wrong. Then Mok Gon waved his hand and said, "We'll give up on the assassin king of the sea." What? It doesn't matter. The restraining badger was just the vanguard anyway. Now that even that has fallen into my hands, the tide has completely turned. The red-lipped man knew well what Mok Gon meant. How many years had Mok Gon spent trying to obtain that? Although it had been sealed for a long time, it was once considered the strongest Immimanjiang, unrivaled in demonic power among the six demons and comparable to the monstrous monkey that had transcended the natural order. Pang! Someone was flying through the air at an incredible speed. The one using the sky-traversing void technique, cutting through the air so fast it was difficult to perceive with the naked eye, was none other than Mok Jiangun. Mok Jiangun, who had already awakened to the supreme sword, was traveling at a speed that far surpassed the level of ordinary lightness skill. Flinch! As he flew so quickly, Mok Jiangun suddenly furrowed his brow. This was because... just now, that was? This sensation was unmistakable. One of the connections linked to him had been severed. Mok Jiangun had felt a similar sensation when he lost the spirit servant Wai Mingqion. This was completely different from when Chang Ryang's connection was severed. Could it be? Had one of the spirit servants been annihilated? But it was quite different from that sensation, as there was almost no backlash that usually came with a severed connection. What could this be? As he was wondering, someone's thoughts were transmitted into Mok Jiangun's mind. Master. The voice belonged to none other than the spirit servant Ma Sung. Ma Sung. The wooden box has been safely retrieved, and as you said, they came for it. So what happened? The remaining pawns have been dealt with. However, However, Gyu Soha resolved her grudge in the process. The severed connection wasn't due to annihilation? Then does it mean she attained enlightenment after resolving her grudge? This was a situation he had never experienced before, even though he had spirit servants. Mok Jiangnan's eyes took on a subtle look as he learned this. Then, Chang Ryang's voice echoed in his ear. What's wrong? Pardon? What happened to make you have such an expression? Chang Ryang had become able to read Mok Jiangnan's state of mind to some extent even from subtle changes in his expression. Mok Jiangnan didn't answer her question. This was because an unexpected new conflict had arisen in his mind. The place he was heading to now was where Mok Gan's main body was located. Mortal? As expected, secret society's target was the 6 demons, who could be considered the pinnacle of spirit beasts. Fortunately, they had prevented the assassin king of the sea sealed in the main hall of the Heaven and Earth Society, which could be considered their base, from being unsealed, but if Jin Yuren's information was correct, there were still 3 more. However, these 6 demons were scattered in the northern, southwestern, and eastern parts of the Central Plains, so it was practically impossible, beyond just being rushed, to stop them in time. Therefore, the most ideal method Mok Jiangnan could take was only one. Strike the head. Mok Gan, the leader of secret society and the source of everything. If he could just kill him, the mastermind and root cause, all of this might naturally be resolved. Including his and Chang Ryang's revenge. But a new worry had arisen. What if? What if Mok Gan's main body dies and Chang Ryang's deep grudge, accumulated over 100 years, is resolved? Would she also unexpectedly attain enlightenment like Gyu Soha? For Mok Jiangnan, who had never considered this aspect before, his mind couldn't help but become complicated. It might be better, even just in case, to first settle Chang Ryang into Wai So-yen, who held her soul, so she could reincarnate, rather than targeting Mok Gan's main body first, as he had planned to do. However, quack. Mok Jiangnan's fist clenched. If he didn't deal with Mok Gan now that he knew the location of his main body, it might lead to the catastrophic outcome that he desired. He was about to reach the location where he was, and he needed to make a decision. Should he prioritize reviving Chang Ryang? Or should he prioritize eliminating him first? As he was conflicted like this. Flinch. Oh no. Mok Jiangnan's gaze suddenly turned downward. At that moment, a blindingly intense light surged up from the ground, enveloping him without giving him a chance to avoid it.